And a welcome here to Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, where sports truly meets that thing called life. We appreciate you being here inside the Great Lakes Honda City studios. Great Lakes Honda City coming to you on 7140 Henry Clay Boulevard in Liverpool, New York. They're open for sales and service Monday through Saturday, and of course all the time at GreatLakesHondaCity.com. You're with us up and down the East Coast, the Midwest, the West Coast, and all around the globe on YouTube.com and Facebook.com, both /WakeUpCallDT and on WakeUpCallDT.podbean.com. So we appreciate you being here with us wherever you are, and thank you so much for being a part of the show. Inside of MonPazPopcorn.com's What's Poppin'. Awesome way to start your week off here on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora. In your first full week of April, we will be starting the week off today, as we always do on a Monday, with DT and Murphy, as Murph will be joining me to speak on a bunch of different topics. We'll get into a few different things that are going on here in the sports world, which include our conversation on the back and forth between Geno Auriemma and Staley after the South Carolina win over UConn. We'll talk about the women's national championship between South Carolina and UCLA, the upcoming men's national championship between UConn and Michigan that'll be coming up here tonight, in NFL free agency, all leading into a conversation with Enrique Cruz Jr., who rejoins the show ahead of the draft after being one of the top performers for all offensive linemen at the NFL Combine 2026 NFL Draft. Looking to hear that name called of Enrique Cruz Jr., former Syracuse and Kansas Jayhawk. So a lot of great stuff coming up where sports meets life. We appreciate you being here once again, and thank you so much for being a part of the show. With that being said, Murph is on the road here with us after Easter. So first and foremost, to everybody out there, I just want to say happy Easter once again. And the most important part of Easter, it's not the bunnies, it's not the chocolate, it's not the baskets, it's the love, and it's the remembrance of the fact that he who loves us more than anything died for us. And to know what God has done and to know why he did it. I mean, listen, there's a lot of things in this world that make no sense. There's a lot of things in this world that are frustrating, sad. You put faith in a lot of things and it goes nowhere. But when it comes to God himself, there's a place for all of us. And I don't even know how to reflect on Easter without feeling very grateful for somebody who gave me, you, all of us, something we don't deserve. And that is the fact that we are not perfect, not worthy of being anywhere after this life that sends us to a place of peace and goodness. But he came here, the Prince of Peace, to give us a life that we really don't deserve. And he paid for our sins. He paid the debt. So I don't have many words other than gratefulness, appreciation, and to just sit with Easter and think to myself, there's a God that loves you, loves me, and never fails. So I hope you had a blessed Easter. I hope you had a good Easter. I hope you got to spend it with the ones that you care about. And I just want to wish everybody a happy Easter once again, including you, Murph.
Appreciate it, my friend. Happy Easter to everybody as well. Obviously the mobile, me being mobile has kind of become a little bit of a theme over the course of the last calendar year. But this little stand that I have, and don't worry, I'm not actually actively driving right now. I'm waiting to get gas. The little contraption that I have that's holding up the phone is just perfect.
Yeah.
So it makes doing this a little bit easier. It honestly makes my drive going home a lot quicker, and it makes, because we get to, chat and have a good time, and it, so, because, if you don't already know, talking to someone in the car as you're driving can often make the drive go a lot faster. So as much as I enjoy doing the show, so it makes this drive go way faster because it is a solid 2+ hours to get home from down in Jersey. So always happy to be here, even if it is from the comfort of my truck.
Yeah, and happy to have you here as always, and happy to be able to have this conversation and appreciate the fact that you did what you need to do on your end so that we can do this and do it safely. So there's a bunch of things, like I said, to talk about here this morning on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora before Enrique Cruz Jr. joins the show. So let's step into that first thing, and that is taking us into the world of the women's national tournament for the basketball side of things, Division 1. And so looking at this and kind of where everything was at in that semifinal game in the Final Four, there was a weird interaction at the end of the game. Geno Auriemma and Dawn Staley had a back and forth and just emotional on the sideline, something you're not used to see. I'm not used to seeing. 62-48 wins South Carolina over UConn. I've been to a lot of games, haven't seen anything like this. So Auriemma released a statement, said, quote, "There's no excuse for how I handled the end of the game versus South Carolina. It's unlike what I do and what our standard is here at Connecticut. I want to apologize to the staff and the team at South Carolina. It was uncalled for in how I reacted. The story should be how well South Carolina played, and I don't want my actions to detract from that. I've had a great relationship with their staff, and I sincerely want to apologize to them." End quote. Now, he claimed, allegedly, Auriemma was claiming that Staley left him waiting for a customary pregame handshake for like 3 minutes, and that he was concerned there was a double standard that permitted Staley more leniency to talk with officials here. So Staley told reporters, quote, "You can ask Geno the question about like what happened." She said, "You can ask Geno the question. He's the one that initiated the conversation. I don't want what happened there to dampen what we were able to accomplish today." End quote. So in an in-game interview with Holly Rowe of ESPN after the third quarter, Auriemma talked about Staley and said, quote, "Rants and raves on the sideline and calls the referees some names you don't want to hear." End quote. He went on to say, "There were 6 fouls called that quarter, all of them against us, and they've been beating the, SH, I won't say it here on a family show. They've been beating the out of our guys down there the entire game, and I'm not making excuses because we haven't been able to make a shot, but this is ridiculous. Their coach rants and raves on the sideline and calls the referee some names you don't want to hear, and now we get 6-0, and I've got a kid with a ripped jersey, and they go, I didn't see it. Come on, man, this is for the national championship." End quote. So, and then when asked during the press conference whether he regretted his interview with Holly Rowe, Geno Auriemma said, quote, "I don't have any regrets about what I said to Holly Rowe. Why would I?" End quote. So, I mean, strange that this happened. I mean, Staley said, quote, "Yeah, that's a little disheartening, and at the same time, this is sports. Sometimes things like this happen. That's why I'm just going to continue to focus on our team and their ability to advance in this tournament and hopefully win another national championship." End quote. Now, they obviously did not go on to do that as they were defeated by UCLA, who won their first ever women's Division 1 basketball championship yesterday. But just a strange exchange, Murph, and that's why I wanted to bring it up today, because it was weird and it was heated, and they had to like be separated from each other. So I wanted to get your thoughts.
Yeah, a lot of times when you see situations like that unfold between coaches and between coaches and referees, a lot of things happen in the heat of the moment. Obviously, UConn was getting beat pretty handily by South Carolina. And you see a quarter where I think he was right. There was no fouls called on South Carolina the entire quarter. And, obviously you're going to get a little upset about that. It's an emotional game. All right. I mean, we've all been through times where, you get upset with the refs and how they're calling a game. It happens all the time, but it's how you handle it.
Yeah.
Geno didn't handle it well. It seems as though I think the pregame thing's a little overblown. I really do. I think the main story here has to do with Geno's treatment of the referees and his comments about the referees. But it's one of those things where, sorry, I'm getting a work call that I'm just going to, I'll call them back after we're done. But I think ultimately you just got to think about what your team needs in that situation, and your team really does need your team really does need your coach to be all there at that point.
Yeah. No, 100%. So just a weird exchange that happened here, but it goes on to the championship, and we get to see in this championship that, UCLA goes up against South Carolina. I thought UConn was going to go to the title game. I said if anybody was going to beat UConn, it was going to be South Carolina, so I wasn't going to be surprised if it happened, but I did ultimately pick UConn to win the game, and that did not end up happening. South Carolina wins. UCLA beats Texas, which I did have, and on UCLA's side of things, I thought, okay, whoever won the South Carolina UConn game was going to win the championship, and then UCLA made sure I was wrong on that, and listen, kudos to them, kudos to their team for the work that they did in this matchup to win the game and to do it handily in the national championship game. I don't think this is what people were anticipating or thinking. I think there was the thought, and again, no surprise of, South Carolina going, because South Carolina and UConn, two great teams, but, ultimately seeing the way that South Carolina beat UConn, the way that they held them down, the fact that UConn didn't even score 50 points in the game, that's what kind of made me take a step back and go, wow, like 62-48 to not score a lot of points. And listen, neither one of the final four games for the women's Division I side of things were high scoring. The South Carolina beat UConn 62-48. UCLA beat Texas 51-44. And then in the championship game, this is where we saw UCLA just blow the doors off the thing. They beat South Carolina 79-51. So I think it's more of how the games were won that kind of throw me off. The fact that UConn didn't get to 50 in the Final Four game, and the fact that UCLA blew South Carolina out of the game by 28, almost 30 points. So to me, this is just kind of atypical of what I anticipated for the Final Four in the championship.
Oh, for sure. And, in the women's game, you got two blue bloods that match up in the Final Four and not the national championship. That was quite literally, if I remember correctly, that was your national championship matchup last year. And UConn won pretty convincingly. So, South Carolina is going to be back. UConn is going to be back. If there is one team that is associated with women's college basketball as the preeminent program in the country, it's UConn.
Yeah. South
Carolina's been there for years. The other side of the bracket is where we kind of saw some new blood. UCLA, known for all those men's championships they won back in the day with John Wooden, finally gets a women's national championship. I did see something, I don't remember who it was. There is a player on UCLA's team that is also a softball player that plays for both teams and was not at the national championship game. But when she got there to celebrate with her team, everybody went nuts. So that was something that was pretty darn cool to see. UCLA deserved it. They won convincingly, and it's not every day that you see that South Carolina team get, from what I would argue, blown out in a game like that.
Yeah, no, and when you look back at, give South Carolina credit where credit is due. We go all the way back to their championship. The first one, Dawn Staley, 2017 over Mississippi State, and then they would go on to play and win the 2022 national championship over UConn. And then in 2024, they would win again over Iowa. And then they've been the runner-up the last 2 years to UConn in 2025-26, or in 2024-25, and in 2025-26 to UCLA. So South Carolina, I mean, they got 3 national championships, and they've been the runner-up 2 times within 2017 to now. So in less than a decade, we have seen them play for 5 national championships, win 3 of them. I mean, Dawn Staley's definitely built a powerhouse, and Geno Auriemma, who's built a powerhouse. I mean, you look at the fact that they won in 2025, UConn, and they won 3 in a row for 14, 15, and 16, but it's been more Dawn Staley recently than it's been UConn. So it's nice to see that there is, somebody else to go out there and take it to this UConn Huskies team and make it interesting, right? Pat Summitt did some things with Tennessee in the past with Geno Auriemma, was winning a bunch of championships when I was growing up as a kid for UConn. So, I think seeing South Carolina step forward is awesome over these last few years. And now that UCLA has done it, now that we've seen the LSUs do certain things in Iowa, there's something to be said about how the national scope of women's basketball is growing and it's gaining, and we're seeing more teams vie for the title. And, in the case of UCLA, I don't think a lot gave them credit that they were going to win this thing. So I give them credit for doing it. And, hey, listen, they proved me wrong. I thought the winner of South Carolina UConn was going to win it all. So shout out to UCLA for winning their first ever Division I women's basketball championship. And, appreciate the fact that we got to see some good basketball once again from the women's side of things. And I know Auriemma will keep rocking and rolling, and I know, Staley will as well. So with that being said, we're going to keep rocking and rolling. We'll take a step aside for a fast break. When Murph and I come back, we will set the table for tonight's national championship game. It's being played at 8:50 p.m. Eastern time as the tip-off for Michigan and UConn, as we look forward to bringing that to you right after this.
Do they really want people to watch?
Looking for your next ride? Look no further than Great Lakes Honda City, located on 7140 Henry Clay Boulevard in Liverpool, New York. Serving our community for decades, their new and pre-owned vast array of vehicles are available to you Monday through Saturday on site. To search from home, shop at GreatLakesHondaCity.com. Call 315-365-5576 to set up an appointment. That's 315-365-5576 for Great Lakes Honda City, 7140 Henry Clay Boulevard in Liverpool, New York. Great cars, great people, Great Lakes.
Hi, this is Amy from Mother's Cupboard, home of the whole frittata. We are open daily 6 a.m. to 1:30 p.m. For takeout orders, call 315-432-0942 and tune in to Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora for our monthly food challenge, and try our Wake Up Call signature menu item available 7 days a week. Here at Mother's Cupboard, we are Central New York, and it's our honor to serve you.
Ma and Pa's Kettle Corn and Popcorn Factory remind us that every day is worth celebrating at 201 7th North Street in Liverpool, New York. Open Monday through Saturday in-store and always online at maandpaspopcorn.com. Serving our Central New York community and beyond, order anywhere, anytime at maandpaspopcorn.com. Stop in to get a tin at Ma and Pa's on 201 7th North Street in Liverpool, New York to get your half-price refills for the rest of your life. Come to Ma and Pa's for your holiday gift giving for family, friends, employees, and clients. And remember, for fundraising and events, to call 315-450-6272. That's 315-450-6272. Ma and Pa's Kettle Corn and Popcorn Factory. How corny are you?
This is Jimmer Sikowski, owner-operator of Chick-fil-A Cicero, 7916 Brewerton Road in Cicero, right in front of the Home Depot. I had a deep feeling that God wanted me to do something bigger with my life and to help people, help others. I kept putting Chick-fil-A in my life, and I realized as I was going through the franchise selection process that positively impacting the lives of others was really core to what we do here at Chick-fil-A. First of all, it starts with the food. The food is brought in fresh daily. We bring in local produce. We prepare to order in the kitchen. We hand bread our chicken. We hand spin our milkshakes. It's great food. It doesn't taste like fast food. I think the second thing is the way people feel when they come in a Chick-fil-A restaurant. It's different. We try to treat people with intentional kindness here, which is very different and deeper than good customer service. And so I think it feels remarkable for most people to come in a Chick-fil-A restaurant. And then lastly, the impact that we try to have in the community is very different. It's a big part of the expectation of every operator of a Chick-fil-A restaurant is that they're actively engaged in their community, they're a leader in the community, and they're making a difference. When they realize that what we're striving to do is to shine a little light in their life, that's a very, very different experience than you will have in any other quick service restaurant. And it's that remarkable experience that I think people will emotionally connect with.
Hey everybody, this is Rockney Roberts from Willow Rock Brewing Company. We are here in Cicero at the Willow Rock Pizza Pub.
And I'm Kevin Williams, also from Willow Rock Brewing Company. Happy to be here and happy to be partnering with CNS and Dan Tortora.
You want some place where you can feel comfortable and hopefully ingratiate yourself with the community. And Kevin, he grew up right down the road from here. I grew up in Brewerton, so not too far away. We know the area, we know the people, they're great, and we were just really excited to be able to come to the area.
Yeah, and having the opportunity to meet some of these coaches, some of the people in general already, and seeing the CNS colors kind of around, and already partnering on a smaller level with individual teams really made this make sense to us to really formalize kind of a partnership with the school and get this rolling.
Willow Rock to me has always been about high quality beverages, high quality experiences, and now high quality food in our pizza pub. That was something new for us when we came to Cicero. Right from the drop, we knew we were going to have a focus on the highest quality food to go with our high quality beer. At the Willow Rock Pizza Pub, you're getting high quality, hand cut, top notch ingredients. We're open for lunch. That's a really important thing for us, is to be able to get that person in here like, hey, you only got 30 minutes for lunch, but we're gonna have something for you that you can get quickly and available to everybody.
Yeah, we wanted something that was just a little bit outside the box, a little bit outside of comfort zone, but still something that you could rely on to be consistent and easy to look at and easy to be like, oh, I can see myself eating this. I can see myself wanting to have that more than once. Eating a whole pizza like our beef on weck pizza, I've never seen one anywhere. It's just a great ideas, great inspiration across the board. We're their spot to stop. We're their friendly neighborhood watering hole, as well as pizza place and place to stop for a restaurant. Not just beer drinkers here. We've got wines, we got cocktails, we got non-alcoholic stuff for the kids.
The location is more important today than it ever has been before, and we're lucky enough to be here in Cicero. The Willow Rock Pizza Pub is a place where you can bring your family. You can come in, you can grab a soda, you can relax. You can come after a game, before a game, your parents, your grandparents. Our goal is to make sure that everyone's comfortable here. We want students, we want athletes, we want your coaches. It's going to be a good time. So come here, enjoy the high quality food, high quality beverage that we're going to offer to everybody. And hey, go North Stars.
We're so happy to have the North Stars. We are very much a kid-friendly establishment. We have tons of space outside for everybody to be playing outside, as well as listening to live music, enjoying some pizza.
The Willow Rock Pizza Pub is open 6 days a week here in Cicero. That is Tuesday through Sunday. And our website is willowrockbrew.com, and our socials are at Willow Rock Brew. So find us on the net, find us in person. We'll see you soon.
And a welcome back here to Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, where sports truly meets that thing called life. We appreciate you being here inside the Great Lakes Honda City studios. Great Lakes Honda City coming to you on 7140 Henry Clay Boulevard in Liverpool, New York. They're open for sales and service Monday through Saturday. And, of course, you can also find them online all the time at GreatLakesHondaCity.com. Painting the picture for the upcoming men's championship, which is tonight and very late. But it's tonight right around 9 p.m. And that's going to be Michigan taking on UConn. UConn won their game over Illinois 71-62, in the Final Four for the men's side of things in Division One, and UConn taking care of business. They were up 37-29 at the half, and it was almost dead even after that, them outscoring the Fighting Illini by 1 point in the second half, 34-33. And Michigan manhandled Arizona, winning that game 91-73, just shy of a 20-point victory. They were up by 15 at halftime, and then a closer second half in this game as well, 43-41, as Michigan ran away with it and will be going for a national title hope up against a team that's won 2 national titles in the last 3 seasons heading into this season, and that being the UConn Huskies. So it has become Marty McFly versus Biff, essentially, when you think about Dusty May and kind of the way he handles things and his calmness and not giving himself a lot of credit versus a Dan Hurley who has a different personality, to say the least, of Dusty May. So what do you think, Murph, as we look toward tonight?
Well, the first thing is, obviously, I started saying it before as we were going to break. Does the NCAA really want people to watch this game? I'm not so sure. I don't exactly know what the percentage of people in America that live on the East Coast or in Eastern time, but it is a lot.
Yeah.
I don't know that they want people on the East Coast watching this game. For people that are UConn Husky fans, keep in mind, this is Connecticut.
Yeah.
Even Michigan, you're starting at 8 p.m. Central. You're tipping off at almost 9 p.m. Eastern time on a Monday night with a team that's from Connecticut. If you had Arizona and Illinois, just for a better example, let's say the other 2 teams won.
Yeah.
Arizona's out in the West Coast. They'll be awake. Illinois, it's late, but it's not too bad. We're talking, these UConn fans have to be up late, and it's a work night. These people got to go to work tomorrow. So, terrible job out of the NCAA. I get you want it to be prime time. And this gets us down in a whole nother rabbit hole, but I'll keep it quick. Sports in general start way too late for prime time. Sunday night baseball, first pitch, 7 o'clock Eastern time. Prime time games should kick off. First pitch, 7 p.m. Eastern. That's 4 o'clock on the West Coast. Just before they're having dinner. If it's a West Coast game, you want to go a little bit later, that's fine. But even football, the biggest game of the year, 6:30 Eastern. Why can't we have primetime games that start at a reasonable hour? Even the college football playoff, correct me if I'm wrong, kickoff was at 8:30, right? I think. You were there, you would know.
Yeah, it was 8:30.
What are we doing? There are a lot of people that would want to watch this game that won't.
Yeah.
Because it's too late. I just had to get that off my chest for starters. Secondly, going into, as far as the game is concerned, Michigan looks really good. They look like a team that is unstoppable. If there's a team to stop them, it's UConn. I have learned to not doubt Dan Hurley. I have learned to not doubt the UConn Huskies. They have won 2 of the last 3 national championships, and if they win tonight, it'll be 3 out of 4. The last team that won 3 out of 4 was John Wooden and UCLA in the 70s. Think about that for a second. Duke hadn't done it. Kansas, North Carolina, Florida. None of them have done it until tonight, hopefully. I'm rooting for UConn, if you haven't figured that out by now. But honestly, if there's a team that can beat UConn, it's Michigan. This Michigan team is a unit. They've got multiple guys that could be playing in the NBA tomorrow. They got a coach that, calm, cool, and collected, is one of the best coaches in college basketball. I'm excited for this game. However, I don't know if I'll be awake to actually watch it. I might be half asleep.
Yeah. Yeah, no.
It starts at 9 p.m.
Yeah, no, it's crazy. It's a tip-off at 8:50 if they truly do that. We know with national championship games, they might give you a time and go a few minutes later or within like a 10 to 12-minute window, because I've been on site for a bunch of these championships, so it's not always on time. Keep in mind, folks, Michigan's only won one title in men's Division I basketball. It only happened one time. It was back in 1989. Michigan had a record of 30-7. They won in overtime by 1 point, 80-79 over Seton Hall. That was played in Seattle, Washington. So Michigan, who's known as a blue blood for a lot of, just when we look at football and whatnot, Michigan basketball-wise has not done a lot when it comes to Division I men's basketball and winning a championship. They won in 89. Now, they were the runner-up in other times. They were the runner-up in 1992 to Duke. They were the runner-up the next year in 1993 to North Carolina. So they have been in a title game more than once. They were the runner-up when I was there in 2013 when Louisville defeated them. So, and of course, they were the runner-up against Villanova in 2018 in more recent history. So we've seen Michigan make it to 5 national titles. They've only won 1 national title. Now, UConn has a more storied history of victory, with them winning in 2004 their first ever championship in men's Division I basketball. So in 2004 with Jim Calhoun, they beat Georgia Tech 82-73, and that started things off for UConn, who would go and win in 2011 when Butler lost back-to-back titles, one to Duke, one to UConn in 2011. That 2010-11 season, UConn defeated Butler 53-41. Then UConn under Kevin Ali defeated Kentucky in 2014. And then some time passed until we saw the Dan Hurley era, who won back-to-back titles in 2022-23 season and 2023-24 season, where Dan Hurley led UConn over San Diego State in 2023, 76-59, and over Purdue in 2024, 75-60. If he were to win this season, he will win 3 out of 4, which Murph correctly said was only done by John Wooden in UCLA when he was there and won a bunch of titles for UCLA, who's won the most championships in Division I men's basketball. And John Wooden did it in the 70s and in the 60s. He won 3 out of 4. So we'll see if Dan Hurley can do that and match what John Wooden did, which is win 3 out of 4 national titles in Division I men's basketball. Will Michigan get their second, or will Michigan for the 5th time be the runner-up in the national title game? And will UConn put themselves in a place where they win their 6th title, as they won 2 under Jim Calhoun, 1 under Kevin Ali, and 2 under Dan Hurley so far? If Dan Hurley wins another championship, do people start talking about him above Jim Calhoun?
100% they do. Do people start talking about him in the same breath as Coach K?
Yeah.
That's the real question.
Yeah.
Does he get put up with Coach K and John Wooden? I think you have to. The only other guy that's ever done it is John Wooden. If they win this game tonight, he is without question the greatest coach UConn has ever had. Well, on the men's side. Geno Auriemma's dozen? Is it how many championships was Geno won? Is it a dozen?
Geno has, I think it's I want to say it's 11. I don't know why. It's 11 or 12. So
I was gonna say he's got double digits somewhere.
it's 12. It's 12. So he's won
It is. It
96,
isn't even dozen. Okay.
96, 2000, or what? 95, 2000, 2002, 3, 4, 9, 10, 13, 14, 15, 16, and then 2025.
It was 10 years since their last national championship.
It's been a minute.
Dang, man, I didn't realize that. But anyway, obviously you can't discredit Geno. He's the greatest coach in UConn history. But if Dan Hurley goes out there and his team wins tonight, I think you could easily say he's going to be up there in the same breath as Wooden and Coach K as some of the greatest coaches ever. And
yeah.
I really, I think they can win this basketball game. I really do. Michigan is going to be a difficult team to beat. They move the ball really well, but UConn's got experience.
Yeah.
They've got multiple guys that were on those 2 national championship teams that are still there. They have the experience of being there. That is something that is probably not given enough credit. Teams that have experience in championships, in tournaments, in championship games, because once the calendar flips to the postseason, anything can happen. It's a tournament. Obviously, we got 2 number 1 seeds, a number 2 and a number 3. Nobody expected UConn to be here.
Yeah.
Quite frankly, UConn got here on a fluke against Duke. That realistically, if they played anybody else, they don't even win that game. We talked about that last week. We don't need to go into it too much anymore with Duke. But this UConn team's got experience. They've got a coach with experience. They have a staff with experience. That is so important when it comes to beating a team like Michigan.
Yeah.
Yeah, you need to focus on, their weaknesses and how you can exploit them and, play to your strengths, take advantage of their weaknesses. But at the same time, you've got the experience. You've been there before. A lot of these guys for Michigan are going to be hearts beating out of their chest. Adrenaline is going crazy. Sure, you're still going to have that for the guys from UConn.
Yeah.
But for the ones that have already been there, they're not going to be feeling it as much. The nerves won't be as strong as they will be for Michigan. Now, will that end up mattering? We'll know in about 12 hours. But at the same time, if it comes down to, because I'm pretty sure, correct me if I'm wrong, I'm pretty sure Michigan's the favorite, right?
Yeah. Yeah, Michigan's the favorite. UConn's playing underdog in this one.
Do you have the spread handy on you, or can you pull it up real quick?
Yeah, so
I'm curious to know what Vegas thinks.
Yeah, so let's see here. The spread for this game, hold on one second. As we're here inside the Great Lakes Honda City Studios on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, and we appreciate you being here as always. I'm looking at a few things.
My guess is probably like 4.5.
So the spread is Michigan by 6.5 points.
Wow.
The over-under is 144.5 points. So they're anticipating that these teams are going to score at least in the 70s, high 70s.
I would take the under on that. I really would. I think both of these teams play very good defensively. Obviously I am a betting man. I'm probably not going to bet it, but if I was going to pick, I would want to pick the under. I would pick UConn to cover and the under, but I honestly think UConn can outright win the game.
Yeah.
But we'll see. It's this is it. I've seen UConn a lot this year. They looked horrible against St. John's in the Big East Championship, but they've looked great in the tournament. I think for them, losing the Big East Championship was probably a wake-up call to tell them, hey, this is not us.
Yeah.
We didn't play our game today. We need to play our game. Selfishly, I wish St. John's would be in this position, but UConn got it done. They beat Duke to get there, and we'll have to wait and see what happens. But I do think UConn can win this game. However, it's going to be tough because that's a very good Michigan team on the other side of the floor.
Yeah, no, this will be a good game tonight. I'm looking forward to it. It's unfortunate how late the game's going to be, but I am looking forward to it.
Only we lived on the West Coast.
Right. And except for if you were watching the women's game yesterday, if you're on the West Coast, you're watching the game at 12:30 in the middle of church. So it's just crazy how early they have the women's game. Now, UCLA won 10 championships in Division I men's basketball under John Wooden. And so, in 10 championships in 12 years. Now that Corey Close has won a championship for UCLA Division I women's basketball, that gives them 11. When you look at Geno Auriemma, who has 12 of his own, plus you have 5 with UConn currently on the men's side of things amongst 3 coaches, that means UConn men's and women's basketball has won a total of 17 championships. UCLA, with John Wooden alone, won 10, but they have 11. So here's the question. Is UConn the greatest basketball school in Division I sports ever? That's the question.
Call me crazy. No. The reason why is because I think what John Wooden did with UCLA in the 60s and 70s, granted, very different game back then. Mm-hmm. You won 10 championships in 12 years.
Yeah. Yeah.
Granted, Geno won a lot with the women's team. But the problem is, obviously, by popularity, people watch more men's basketball than they do women's basketball. I'm not discrediting anything UConn women did. It's something, winning 4 straight national championships, having players go into the WNBA from UConn having never lost or lost 1 game in 4 years at UConn and winning 4 national championships is unheard of. Winning 90, 100-something straight games is unreal. But the level of competition between the women's game and the men's game is just not the same.
Yeah.
The UConn women won games by nearly 100 points. These teams they were playing, think of the UConn women back then playing a random high school girls team from Arkansas.
Yeah.
They'd lose by 100. They were doing that to college teams. I don't know if it's that they were that good or if that those other teams were that bad. I think it's a combination of both. However, to me, the men's game's a lot more difficult than the women's game. So to me, now granted, UCLA in men's basketball has not won a national championship. I don't think they've won one since Wooden, right?
UCLA.
I don't think they've won a championship since John Wooden.
Yeah, I don't think that they've won a men's,
so if we're talking
men's
about
title.
right
I know
now,
that they competed against Florida a couple times, or they competed against Florida back in 2006 and lost that. But no, since John Wooden, so the last one that Wooden won was in 1975 over Kentucky.
And they haven't won since.
Over Kentucky. And they... No, they did. They won under Jim Herrick.
Oh, they did?
Jim Herrick in 95. Jim Herrick over Arkansas. He led UCLA 89 to 78.
Is that their last one?
So their last one is in 1995. So UCLA, let me correct myself. So UCLA has 10 from John Wooden, 1 from Jim Herrick, which is 11, and then 1 from Corey Close on the women's side, which is 12, which 17 for UConn men's and women's combined, 12 for UConn or for UCLA men's and women's combined.
Yeah, and so I guess they got 1 after Wooden.
Yeah.
If we're talking right now, obviously there's not even a question that it's UConn.
Yeah.
Because UCLA men's basketball really isn't all that relevant anymore. They're not a blue blood like they once were. UConn is.
Yeah.
So if we're talking right now, right here, right now, yeah, it's UConn. But if we're just saying all time, now granted, the dynasty that John Wooden had in the 60s and 70s is something that no team will ever be able to replicate in any sport ever. Winning 10 out of 12 championships doesn't happen. Not even the Yankees in the 50s and 60s did that.
Yeah.
I mean, you had guys on the Yankees that retired with 10 championships, but over 20 years. 10 out of 12 is ridiculous. What it would have been like to be a UCLA fan back in that period of time.
Yeah.
But it's kind of what I guess UConn fans are doing now. Getting to see all the women's teams win all those national championships, an even dozen that they've won under Geno Auriemma in just the last 20 years.
Yeah.
Sorry, 30 years. 30 years. The first one was in 95, you said, right?
Yeah. For
I think
UConn?
he said the first one was in 95. So last 30 years.
Yeah.
So winning a dozen in 30 years is realistically, they won 11 in 20. Obviously they won last year. It was their first national championship since 2016. Yeah. So that's impressive in and of itself.
Yeah.
But I think the fact that it's a little bit more difficult to do it in men's basketball than it is in women's basketball, the competition just isn't the same. I would say all time it's UCLA, but obviously they haven't really done much over the last 30 years. They've won 1 championship since 1975. So last 50 years, realistically. So they've won 2 in 50 years. UConn's won all of theirs in that same time. So realistically, since UCLA last won a national championship on the men's side, UConn has won each and every one of their national championships. So 17 in 30 years for men's and women's basketball is damn impressive.
Yeah.
So I think it's a different answer if you're talking about right now versus all time. But UConn wins tonight, makes it 3 out of 4. That answer might change.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, so I mean, I think looking back at this, I mean, Geno won so many in a 20-year period. That's where they won. So John Wooden won 10 in 12 years. Geno won 10 in 20 years. But when you look at just what he's done to win in the 90s, win in the 2000s, win in the 2010s, and in the 2020s is incredible and remarkable because women's basketball has gotten better. So for him to be winning in the 2010s and the 2020s, saying something about these other teams that have risen up, and for UConn men to have won with 3 different coaches. I mean, Jim Calhoun was the guy you're like, is he ever going to get there? Because you felt like he was one of those guys that you would anticipate would have a championship. Kind of like Dan Marino. When you think about him, you're like, oh no, he had to have won a Super Bowl, and it's like, no, he never did. But I mean, in the case of Jim Calhoun, you thought the bow's got to break at some point. And then Kevin Ali, people forget about that. And then it was like, okay, after Calhoun, it's kind of like after Jay Wright at Villanova. After Calhoun, the mentality was, is it ever going to happen again? And then it happened with Ali, and it's happened twice with Hurley. It could be 3 times with Hurley and 3 times in 4 years. So I think the conversation, is UConn the best basketball school in America? There's a really good chance that that's true. So with that being said, we're going to take a step aside, and we will welcome Enrique Cruz Jr. right after this on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora inside the Great Lakes Honda City Studios. Stay with us.
The Wildcat Sports Pub in Camillus, New York is located on 3680 Milton Avenue in the Home Depot Plaza. It is your family-friendly sports bar and restaurant. Folks, some sports bars aren't family-friendly. Some family-friendly restaurants are not sports bars. The Wildcat Sports Pub in Camillus, New York is proud to be both. It is that marriage that you've been looking for years. The Wildcat Sports Pub is your home base for your sports bar and restaurant needs, games for the kids, indoor and outdoor activities, and enough things on the menu to come back every single week and get to try something new. They're open Sundays from noon to 8 p.m., Monday through Wednesday, 11 a.m. to 11 p.m., and Thursday through Saturday from 11 a.m. to midnight. For reservations and party information, call 315-487-2222 for the Wildcat family-friendly sports pub and restaurant.
GG Cards and Breaks. Like, comment, subscribe.
GG Cards and Breaks, coming to you on 639 Delmar Place in Syracuse, New York, is your one-stop sports card and trading card shop. Make sure you head over there Tuesday through Saturday from 10 to 6 and Sundays from 10 to 5, where you could be a big kid. You find soccer, hockey, basketball, baseball, football, Disney, Lorcana, Magic the Gathering, Yu-Gi-Oh!, Pokemon, so many great things happening at GG Cards and Breaks. And we look forward to seeing you over there this week. They're always bringing in singles, packs, boxes. You never know what's going to be at GG's. It's kind of like opening a Christmas present all throughout the year. So appreciate y'all for going over to GG Cards and Breaks. Big time shout out to Chick-fil-A in DeWitt on the corner of Bridge Street and Erie Boulevard. Chick-fil-A in DeWitt. You will find Monday through Saturday open for you with their giant brick building, awesome indoor dining, and of course their double drive-through and massive parking lot. They're currently doing Nostalgia, which is the jalapeno ranch club chicken sandwich, as well as the strawberry hibiscus beverages. Make sure you get out to Chick-fil-A in DeWitt today to enjoy those new spins on the nostalgia that they have at Chick-fil-A. With that being said, here inside the Great Lakes Honda City Studios, we appreciate you being here with us up and down the East Coast, the Midwest, the West Coast, and all around the globe as we are here on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora. I'm excited to have here on the broadcast with me, picture in picture, once again, Enrique Cruz Jr., my VP, vice president since the first time that we got to talk with each other, Kansas Jayhawk, and somebody who came out of the NFL Combine as one of the top performing overall offensive linemen in the entire nation. And there are thousands of offensive linemen that want to hear their name called in the 2026 NFL Draft. One of the best to showcase himself at the Combine, Enrique Cruz Jr., who joins us here today ahead of the draft, which is less than a month away here at the end of this month, as we're here on April 6th. It'll be on April 23rd that we will start the draft. Enrique, how you doing?
I'm good. I'm good. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. Happy to have you. So, you know, and the different hairstyles that we've had for you. Now we got the short hair, but we got like the goatee beard going on. Bring me into the style you got going.
Yeah, I want to go for a little bit more of a mature look. So
Okay.
cut off the hair, got the goatee beard going on. This hairstyle back at home is called the Ricky, because this is like my dad's like famous haircut he's been getting since he was like 7 years old. He's like 40 now, so like everybody knows it as the Ricky over there.
Awesome. I like it. The Ricky. Good stuff. So happy to be here with Enrique Cruz Jr. as we get set for the upcoming 2026 NFL Draft. Enrique, coming off of the NFL Combine, looking at some of your numbers here, top 7 in multiple categories, top 2 in a bunch of categories as well. Bring me into, now that you've had some time to reflect on it, what you took away from the Combine and the fact that you were rising to the top of the chart when it came to the overall offensive lineman performances at the NFL Combine.
The combine was a great experience. I enjoyed it. Definitely learned a met a lot of the guys on other teams, a lot of cool people I met over there, and then really just wanted to perform, wanted to showcase my ability, everything I could do. I always knew I was athletic, and I always wanted to showcase it on the big stage.
Yeah, I mean, you getting out there and doing what you did at the NFL Combine. I mean, we look at preparation that, you know, you went into, just go into that a little bit deeper, just where you've been working, who you've been working with, and what you feel has really helped prepare you for the Combine and for the draft.
Oh yeah, I mean, I think the people I'm working with are really good. I feel like some of the best in the business. I was working at a Velocity Athlete Development in Canton, Georgia. They really knew everything, that they knew what they were doing, and they worked specifically with just O-line and D-linemen. So everything we're doing was just specific for us. So, you know, we're not like receivers, so like we really don't do like super track workouts, but we do a lot of stuff that helps improve every event, and they're really good.
Yeah, I mean, and we look at your performance, as you said, you know, working out in Georgia and getting ready for the NFL Combine. We go back to your numbers from the Combine, and you were tied for 5th best time amongst all offensive linemen in the 40-yard dash, running under a 5 flat at 4.94. Your thoughts about the 40 and just what you were able to do there? I mean, wait, listen, linemen are big old dudes, man, but you got that 4 something, which I'm very excited for you.
It's actually pretty funny. A lot of my friends were mad at me because I thought I could run faster than that. So definitely it's a great time, and I thought I could do a little better than that. But yeah, no, it was definitely a pretty good time.
Yeah, no, I mean, and it's been it's been awesome, right? To just go through this. I mean, Enrique, listen, we could talk about the numbers, and we will talk about some numbers, but we got to be real. I mean, you and I have known each other for a really long time. I am so excited for you. Like this is an amazing moment. To me, you're a big kid, I'm a big kid. I get to see my little brother go to the NFL. That's what I'm looking at right now. So when you put all these numbers in a pot, you put everything together, let's just be real about this. Is this not one of the coolest things ever, or the coolest thing ever that you've gotten to do, is prepare for this upcoming moment in a few weeks?
No, yeah, it definitely is. I mean, I feel like I haven't really fully embraced the feeling yet. I just feel like I just want to figure out what team I'm about to go on and just, you know, fully think about it. But right now I'm just trying to go day by day. But it definitely is an amazing film.
Yeah. And you know what? It's funny because when you and I talk, you know, we'll have conversations, but man, a few words sometimes when we're going back and forth in the interview conversation. Have you always been that way? I mean, I've known you for a long time, but have you always kind of been like, here's my thought, it's a sentence or two, that's all I got for you?
Yeah, I don't really like to boast about myself too much. So I like to keep it humble. So like I don't really like to you know, basically just like hype myself up. I always prefer when other people do that, because I feel like it means more when other people do. When you do it, it doesn't really mean too much. It sounds like, 'cause, you know, a lot of people talk without action, but when other people speak, hype you up, that actually means something, you know.
So let me hype you up, and then we could talk about other things. So I'm going to do this here. I'm going to hype you up. 4.94 in the 40-yard dash as an offensive lineman, tied for 5th best time amongst all offensive linemen. And if those of you don't know about the NFL Combine, of all the offensive linemen, hundreds and hundreds, thousands of offensive linemen around the country, there's only like 40 to 50 that get invited to the NFL Combine. So that's a small number, and then to be in the top 5 of that number, that's even greater and even more of an accomplishment for Enrique Cruz to have a 4.94 tied for 5th. His top speed in the 40-yard dash was the fastest amongst all offensive linemen in the 2026 NFL Combine at 20.69 miles per hour, okay? If he was driving through a school zone, they would have said, hey, you almost have to slow down. If he was running through a school zone, I should say, not driving through a school zone. And then we look at some other things that we got here. The vertical 35 inches was second amongst all offensive linemen at the Combine. The broad jump at 9 feet 8 inches was second amongst all offensive linemen at the Combine. And then the athleticism score overall of 90 was fourth amongst offensive tackles. So, like you said, you don't like to talk about yourself and you don't like to boast about yourself, which I totally understand and I respect. And it's one of the things I love about you, and because you're just a good human being. But that's a lot of good, Enrique, and I'm sure that it has helped you with these NFL relationships and conversations.
Oh yeah, it definitely does. A lot of people always speak about it.
So, how'd your family react to it? Because, I mean, you got the Sarah Cruz tailgate, which just told me that they're watching and listening, and they're here with us
Shout
this
out
morning.
Sarah Cruz tailgate.
Yeah, so the best tailgate. My Sarah Cruz T-shirt, like, we have all the things. Like, I was a part of the Sarah Cruz tailgate because I got to shout out I got to say this. And I know I've said it before, but I'm going to try and paint the picture a little bit more. Your mom, when you show up at the Sarah Cruz tailgate, she sees me and it's not "What's up, Dan?" It's "What's up, wake up call?" And I think the last time she handed me her homemade sangria, she danced it to me. So mom brings it over. Dad met me. He met me with the sangria and a shot. And he's like, DT! So, I mean, the tailgates, which I miss, because nothing's been the same. Because, those of you that know, I have Hispanic blood. And then, of course, also with Hispanic blood is my VP next to me on the screen here, because he's Puerto Rican. And so I'm not Puerto Rican descent, but I've always said that being around the culture, it does something to me. Like, being Italian, there's a lot of family culture. And then being Hispanic and just like loving the culture in and of itself, there's a pull. So I feel like when I'm around like Puerto Rican culture, it just kind of engulfs you. It brings you in and it makes you feel some kind of way about family and just feeling like you're in a place where you're loved and appreciated. So I know it's long-winded, but I want you to describe the Sarah Cruz tailgate because it made me feel right at home. And I've never been drunk. I don't drink that much, but the most I've ever drank is when I'm with the Cruz family.
No, I do miss the tailgate as well. I miss doing the visual tailgate. Everybody I met at the tailgate, they're all amazing people. And unfortunately, I actually was never able to participate in the tailgate because I was always playing.
Yeah.
That's one thing I really wish. I wish I was able to go to one of the tailgates. I heard the food was fire. Like a lot of my friends will go like from other teams or like just my friends who didn't play sports, and they always tell me the food was fire, the vibes were amazing, and crazy Puerto Ricans. Once Puerto Ricans over there, it's always everybody's gonna get drunk. But shout out to the tailgate. It was definitely amazing when we had it.
Your family tried to make me the first broadcaster to be hanging from the press box with my hands on the press box with no shirt on. That's what I told your parents. I said, this is what's going to happen. And I said, hey, listen, if it happens with the Cruz family, it happens. But like you said, you didn't get to partake because hours before the game, you're on the field, right? You're preparing, You're doing your thing, you're getting in your vibes and getting in the groove and all that. But to know how your family showed up for you, just what that's meant, to look out in the stands and see the Puerto Rican flag, to know that they brought it to different places, to know that they brought the culture, they brought the love for you. I mean, it's not, and you could tell me if I'm wrong, but I feel like your family didn't only represent Cruz, they represented Puerto Rico, pride, and just saying, like, don't forget your roots and don't forget where you came from. Do you feel that when they would come out to games?
Oh yeah, 100%. That's what I am the way I am. I'll never forget my roots. Never forget about Chicago. Never forget about being Puerto Rican. And we don't just represent like the Cruz family because I am a Cruz and my dad's side is Cruz, but we also represent like the Pagan family, the Torres family, and so forth, so forth. So we just it just indicates show like how close we are as a family on both sides of my family because everybody just come represent who we are and just just come and support. And I really did appreciate it.
Yeah. Could you ever hear them? Did you hear them at the combine? Have you been anywhere where you've heard them? Like even Kansas Pro Day?
No, so here's a funny story. So whenever my uncle will come to games, my uncle's one. He's one of those guys where, like during halftime or like a timeout, he's gonna leave. And he's gonna like check the area. So he's gonna try to find a way to come closer to where I'm at. And every time he's always successful. He always meets somebody like, yo, here you could take my seat or whatever. And the first time he went to a game. I wasn't even playing yet, really. And I'm over here trying to listen to what coach is talking about. He's behind me. They call me Ricky. He's like, Ricky, literally right behind me in Syracuse. Like, you know, the O-line's right here. You can almost touch us how close the sideline is.
Yeah.
And he's just yelling my name. He's like, Ricky, 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 with a video. Ricky just yelling my name. And I turn around and it's him. And I wave at him. And he's still going. He's like, Ricky, like, come on, what's up, what's up? And it's the middle of the game. I'm like, give me 1 second. Give me 1 second. He always found a way to get close because you know got the family seats. I don't know where the family was set at, but he'll always find a way, even at Kansas, to get right next to where I'm at and get the perfect video.
Yeah. So I mean, I can tell you that I know where your family sat because where I was for the press box at Syracuse, they were always like down and to the right. So like they would turn and wave, like your stepdad, your mom, they'd turn, wave to me, and, you know, your brother and whatnot. And then, like, I mean, the whole family would be like, if one of them waved, they'd all turn and, like, you know, they give you, but then you'd see them creep, like you were talking about. Like, I'm seeing them here, and I'm like, that's their section, that's where the families sit. And then all of a sudden, they're down toward the sideline. So I know exactly what you're talking about because I'm like, how did they get down there? But they just always found a way, Enrique. They always did. Yeah.
And then even at the combine, Indiana is about like a 2-3 hour drive from us. So I had approximately about like 50 people come to the combine. And beforehand, like all my people were telling me, I didn't know if it was true or not, but like all my people who were training, they're like, yeah, like it's supposed to be really quiet, like you're not supposed to cheer. But every time that I'll go, I'll start hearing yelling, oh! You know, it was my whole family. My whole family was damn near took up the whole stands. You know, it was pretty amazing.
If you tell Puerto Ricans not to cheer, I think they just hear louder. So like they go, "What? You don't want to hear us?" Okay. So like I don't think there's ever been a time where I've heard somebody go, "Hey, excuse me, you have to be a little bit quieter," and that, you know, Puerto Rican culture was like, "Okay." I don't know. I mean, is there a Puerto Rican whisper, Enrique? I don't think there's such thing as a Puerto Rican whisper.
There is. Our whisper just means yelling.
Enrique Cruz Jr., 2026 NFL draft prospect at the offensive line position, coming to us from the Kansas Jayhawks, and before that from the Syracuse Orange. Enrique, this road that you've taken, and Brendan's here with us with DT and Murphy still, so Brendan will ask a question here in a second, but the road that you took, we talked about it a little bit here. Hindsight 2020, with everything that's happened up till now, how do you reflect going a little bit deeper in your road now that we've done the combine, we're getting ready for the draft, we've done pro day? When you reflect on, I went to Syracuse, I went in the portal, I went to Kansas, now I'm here. What can you say about your decision making and the journey that you've taken that God has led you on?
Honestly, I feel like it's all God's plan. I feel like it worked its way out perfectly. I feel like there definitely was a lot of hard times. You know, it definitely wasn't easy. It was a lot of ups and downs, a lot of spots where I had to pick myself back up and I had to keep myself up. And I just feel like it was just God trying to teach me a lesson and just trying to prepare me for the next journey. You know, he says, a lot of people say like, before God prepares you to elevate, he's going to put you through something so you can personally evolve into the next chapter in your life. So I feel like it's really just been his plan. And I'm just thankful that he's allowed me to be here and just to do stuff like this.
Yeah. I mean, like you said, he challenges you before he elevates you. He wants to make sure you're ready. Sometimes you think you grew, and he'll throw you a test that you failed 1,000,000 times just to make sure that you're going to pass it again.
Yeah, 100 has happened to me many times.
Do you have a time recently in this journey where you felt like you're looking at God going, all right, I've grown as a man, I've grown as a player, I think I'm here. I think I got it. I think I'm ready for the next step. And then he just checked you for a second and was like, I'm going to give you something, Enrique, just to make sure. Do you have one of those stories recently?
As of recent, it'll probably be like when I finish the season. No, when I finish the season, I wasn't really. I mean, yeah, like I finished the season. I had a pretty good season, but like I wasn't really. I didn't really get too many phone calls for like bowl games, like the senior bowl games and stuff like that. So I was like kind of like damn, like what's happening? Like why am I not getting into stuff? But I just had to put my trust in it, put my faith in it, and thankfully I had got invited to the American Bowl, and then everything worked itself out after that.
Yeah, and like you said, you got invited to the American Bowl to share just what that experience was like and what you took away from it, how that helped you maybe to network with the NFL.
Oh, it was a great experience. It was definitely an experience that I needed, just because not just in the practices, because I feel like I had a pretty good practice over there, and it was a really fun experience. Actually, I had a blast at the American Bowl, but just talking to coaches and talking to scouts. It was my first time actually talking to scouts, and I was pretty nervous, but it kind of prepared me to learn how to talk to scouts, learn how to articulate what I know about football, also use my personality while I'm talking to them. So now that like when I'm on phone calls with coaches or like I'm on Zooms, I'm able to just speak well and not be nervous.
Yeah. Enrique Cruz Jr. here with us talking this morning ahead of the draft and excited for the opportunities that are to come. Murph is here with us. DT and Murphy is how we start off Wake Up Call every week with Brendan Murphy. So, Brendan, if you have a question for Enrique, fire one ready.
Yeah, man. How's it going, Enrique? Congratulations on all your success in college, and obviously hoping the best for you coming up in the draft. But obviously something that with offensive linemen that's like the most important thing you could be is athletic, and you kind of proved it at the combine with your athleticism. Running a sub 5.40 for an offensive lineman is definitely very, very, very good. So being someone that's athletic as an offensive lineman, is there maybe a particular player that you look at that maybe you model your game after? And then, to expand on that, who's a guy that you're most excited to go up against to protect your quarterback?
Oh, okay. I'm doing well. Thank you. I hope you're doing good too. And I got two players. So Matthew Bergeron. I played with Matthew Bergeron, and I seen what it took for him to get where he's at right now. So I definitely watched a lot of his film and things like that. I feel like he's a really good player, and his attitude is really what got him there as well. And I would say Matthew Bergeron, not just because he's like a big brother to me and he's taught me a lot, but just I've seen everything he's done to get where he's at. And Tristan Wirfs, I feel like he's been one of my favorite offensive linemen ever since he came out. What would it be in 2020 or 2019? I forgot when it was. 2020, 2019. I was actually at the Iowa Junior Day during his combine, and they were all like, "Yo, like look at this guy. This guy's a freaking nature." And then honestly, I mean, going against anybody, I mean, going against the best of the best, I feel like just a cool opportunity, and then just to showcase my ability and just to see what the difference is between NFL and college.
And keep in mind, Enrique, all combine team. So we talk about your performance in the NFL. The NFL posted this themselves. The all combine offensive and defensive teams. There's only two offensive linemen marked down as offensive guards that made the all combine offensive team, and you are there as one of those two. Quarterback Garrett Nussmeier, running back Jeremiah Love, and Jadarian Price, as well as Mike Washington Jr. from CNS in Central New York. And then wide receivers Zachariah Branch, Jacoby Lane, and Xavion Thomas. Tight ends Kenyon Sadiq and John Michael Gillenborg, as well as offensive tackle Max Ian Henkor. Forgive me if I get that wrong. So Max and offensive tackle.
Arizona State.
What'd you say?
He's from Arizona State, right?
Yeah. So and then Spencer as well at offensive tackle, and then we have Oli for offensive guard, as well as you, and then Logan Jones at center, who made the All-Combine team. Enrique, for you to make the All-Combine team, to see the NFL put this out here this season, I mean, that's insane. That's like saying, here, these are our all-stars from the Combine.
Yeah, they definitely. I just feel like I just feel like the ability was always there. I feel like I was very confident in myself and what I could do.
Well, I mean, you're agile. You can move. Like when you look at your body and what you've done with your body, and I know you put up a picture here recently, like what you've done to evolve your body, evolve what you. I mean, we're watching an offensive lineman, but I'm also watching a guy who can jump, and who can do the broad jump, who can do the vertical jump. I'm watching a guy who is showing what he can do to move himself with speed-wise, top speed-wise, and all these things. Like, bring me into that. I mean, we see offensive linemen, and you normally think big old dude that's got 300 pounds on him that can move some guys, but not typically fast, not typically as agile, not going to jump as high. I mean, I'm watching things that you've done and different things that they've asked you to do as far as, you know, kind of looking at you at the combine and saying, okay, we're going to break you down by these measurements and whatnot. You don't like, it's like you're an offensive lineman, but you also look like you don't fit, like you fit it. I want to say it the right way. You're an offensive lineman, but you look like you have all these other tools in the tool shed that other offensive linemen you don't typically see. What did you do to get your body ready to be someone who is so agile, versatile, fast? There's a lot of elements to your game, what I'm trying to say, that go beyond what you typically think of for an offensive lineman.
I just feel like, well, for the combine, it was just the preparation that I did for the combine. Like I said, I had an amazing team behind me. Shout out Velocity. They're really good. They definitely know what they're doing. I mean, this is not the first time they had somebody show up like this. They always have people who always have good numbers, and they're really good at what they do. But I just feel like also it's like that's just been me for my whole career. I feel like I've always been a really athletic offense. Like growing up, you could ask my dad this. You could call him up. I'll call him up right now. He'll tell you one thing. He's like, he's a tight end. He'll always tell you that. He was actually mad that they put me at left tackle in high school. He's like, you need to be a tight end. But it was just feel like it was something I was always able to do. I feel like it really started when growing up, my mom never she like always had to work, so she was able to take me to practice in the summer, you know, because during the season you're at school already. So I used to have to ride my bike everywhere. So now I'm riding my bike like 10 miles a day, and that's like 5 there, 5 back. So like that's really when it started, because I used to be like slow and chubby until one summer I rode my bike every day, and I just became I was skinny, I was faster, and then ever since then it just kept on evolving.
How do you balance the two? How do you stay, you know, big, muscle, hard to move around, but then bring all those other elements into it, right? How do you keep one, like how do you add another element without giving up another? You know what I'm saying? Like how do you bring it all together?
It's just the preparation. So the preparation for the combine was basically just all the combine drills. Well, now my preparation is more so it's more football training. So it's more strength training, more speed, agility training, not necessarily like 40 training, but just more position specific workouts while also training position specific stuff. So that's really how you add it in together. You just work out the stuff you need to work out, and also keep the stuff that you already have and just make it better.
So for you, like you said, I mean, now you're transitioning into other things and other focuses. Where have you seen yourself evolve the most? When you look at playing on the offensive line, what things are you working on ahead of the draft right now that you can really say, this is where I was, and I feel like I've elevated that?
Basically just being better at multiple positions. You know, my whole career I've only played tackle, and now I practice a lot of practicing a lot of the 3-point stands, just, you know, in case I gotta go to guard. So just see myself improve a lot at being able to plug in at different positions in the offensive line.
So for you, they had you marked down on the All-Combine team as a guard. When you talk to the NFL scouts, is it guard? Is it tackle? Is it we just want you on the line and we'll put you where we got to put you? What has the conversation been like?
A lot of it is tackle because I played tackle. Sometimes it's guard, but I mean, my mindset is I just want to play. I just want to touch the field. So I always tell my coach like, I really just want, I want to play. I want to touch the field. Like I'm ready for whatever you want to throw at me.
I do have some thoughts about the interview side of things because you got to be in front of the entire NFL with all 32 teams at the Combine. But before that, I'll head back to Murph. Murph, what's your next question for Enrique Cruz Jr.?
I think a lot of it kind of comes back to what you just said about what you guys just talked about with versatility and everything. Being somebody that can play 4 positions on the offensive line is something that is really valuable to a team. And you kind of mentioned that you just want to get out there and do whatever the team can do. What kind of steps have you been taking to make sure that you'll be able to play all 4 spots on the lines?
It's just in my preparation and working out, like doing my online workouts, just working out not just at one side, working out at both sides, and also doing it from different positions. So like tackle is usually in a 2-point stance. So I'm doing like a pass set out of a 2-point stance, and then after I do so many out of 2-point stance, make sure I do it out of 3-point stance, and then also switch my stagger. So now I'm working on both sides, and then the same thing for the run game.
Yeah, I mean, do you find left side, right side? Do you find that it matters to you? I mean, obviously you're being the opposite image of yourself, right? If you're on the left side or the right side, you're doing the similar technique, but you just got to flip course, so to speak. Do you find that there's one side that feels more comfortable?
Well, I think it just depends the side that you play most. So, I mean, if you ask me early in my career, I'll tell you the left side because I started out as a left tackle. But if you were to ask me now, I'd probably tell you the right side just because I just played a whole season on the right side. So I just feel like it just depends on wherever you play the most. But I mean, me working out right now, I can tell you it's pretty much the same on both sides. I've been working out both sides quite evenly.
Got a message that came in here. Mark Capello said this: Great visit with Enrique today. So excited for him and the family. Thinking back to my first meeting with him and Chris Elmore when we built out our NIL program. Rhino said Enrique had the best feet of any lineman he ever saw. Hated to see him leave Cuse, but thrilled for where it brought him. By the way, Tailgate is still alive and well, and back to our fine mess branding. Please stop by and say hello in the fall. So that's anything you want to say to Mark and the crew?
Hey, shout out Mark, shout out Syracuse Tailgate. I miss you guys.
So, Enrique, 32 NFL teams. There's a portion of the Combine that we don't see, which is the interview portion. Did you get to speak with every team?
At the Combine, I spoke about probably 15 teams.
Okay. What was that like? Bring me in to kind of paint the picture. Are these like 10-minute, 20-minute, 5-minute conversations? Was it more with some, less with others? How were your interactions with pretty much half the NFL? How did they kind of go as far as duration or what was talked about?
Yeah, so it just depends. There's two different types of interviews. You have a formal interview and you have informals. A formal interview is mostly like more serious, talking about football. They're gonna ask you questions. You're gonna have the head coach in there, the GM in there, all position coaches in there, and like a bunch of the other staff. So I had one formal interview with the Lions, and that one was just like a little bit more serious. So you're being recorded, and you're in one of the suites, and they're basically like kind of questioning you while you're in the suite, or you're just there by yourself in the suite, and there's just like all these people, and they're not talking at all. They're gonna ask you a question, and then they're gonna just look at you while you answer the question. You're gonna talk a little bit of ball, and they're gonna show you film. They want you to talk about your film, also talk about whatever player they're trying to teach you, and you basically it's just like one interview. Or there's like you ever did an interview like or in college where they told you like, yeah, you're gonna interview, and it's just gonna be like 20 people in the room, and there's gonna be looking at you, asking you questions. Like it's kind of like that. And then you have the informal ones where it's not necessarily as serious as that. They're all serious, but the informal ones can range from talking ball to taking a test to you're just shooting the stuff with them, just talking with them, just joking around with them. They're trying to see how your personality is, They're trying to see how you work under pressure with a test, or they're gonna try talking to you, and then at the end they're gonna try to quiz you on football.
So for you, how did you handle the formal? How did you handle there's just a room full of people staring at you trying to catch you on something? How was that experience?
I was actually really nervous at first. I was pretty nervous at first, but then this is one of those things that you get better as you do it. So I had a really good team at Velocity, and we kind of mimicked the formal setting. And I feel like it's a lot harder to do something like that with people that you know, because let's say you say something dumb. This is like damn, bro, that was goofy. Like, why would you even say that? Because there's people there's people you don't know. It's like whatever. So I feel like when I was preparing for it over there at Velocity, it was a lot harder in the sense that these were people that I know, and like you kind of you're trying to be super serious, and like how it is when you're with your friends. Like it's hard to do something serious with like some of your friends.
Yeah.
But then once I got to the formal interview, it became a lot. It was a lot easier. I was a little bit nervous at first, but then they gave me good advice, and I was able to do it over there really well. And then I just transferred it over there to the formal.
How did they get you, like you said, being at Velocity and being around people that you know? How did that help you be around people that you don't know? To go into that a little bit deeper.
It helped me a lot because I didn't really know them too well at first, But I'm the type of guy with personality. But, like over time, I'm gonna be good friends with everybody wherever I'm at. So like, it definitely helped me a lot because at first I didn't really know too many people. Really know a lot of people over there. But then over time, I just got to know them, and then we all became really good friends. And then just the preparation that they put me through with like learning the playbook and then able to talk ball in front of all of them. It was because I feel like it was a lot harder because these are people you know. So like it's harder when you're doing people you don't know. You don't want to mess up. But when it's people you know,
Yeah.
you should see if you don't mess up because they're teaching this to you, and it's like damn, like I'm not trying to make it seem like I wasn't paying attention or like these also like some of them are like one of my really good friends, and it's like damn, I'm not trying to sound goofy because they're gonna tell me like yeah, like you sounded goofy. So it's like when you're working with your friends, it's easier working with your friends, but also harder at the same time because you don't want to, because your friends will tell you what it is.
Right. They're going to tell you the truth, right? They're going to be honest with you. They're going to give you some notes. If you're surrounded by people that are not yes men or yes women, they're going to tell you the real. They're going to say, "Yeah, we don't understand what you're saying, or that doesn't make sense, or that's not right, or let's figure this out." So, was there any question that stuck with you? Because I've had guys go to the combine, and the one that sticks out to me the most is I think somebody told me the Cleveland Browns were like, how much can you do with a paperclip? Like, give me everything that you can do with a paperclip. So did you have any like off the beaten path questions where you had to stop and really think like, okay, that's got nothing to do with football? Did you have any of those?
Yeah, so like me, I'm not good with definitions. So like I could tell you what a word is.
Yeah.
I'm like one of the guys who will define it by using the word because like I know a lot of times like there's a lot of words that people know, like we know, but we just can't define. But we know what it is, and I can tell you a perfect example of the word. So they asked me like, so what does grit mean to you? And now when I was I was trying to put it in a sense where like put it in my play and like things like that. Like it's a word that like you've never actually searched up, but you know what it is.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I'll probably say that one.
So when they asked you like what's grit and you're like, I don't have an exact definition, how did you convey it to them?
I just try to explain it like with basically just like the way you play, grit is like honestly is like I explained it like an example like Dennis Rodman, he played with grit. Like Amon Ross St. Brown, he plays with a lot of grit and intensity, and I try to explain it and tie it into like how I play as well.
So coming off combine time and all that, pro day and whatnot, did you get to speak with multiple teams more than once? Like, was there a team you saw at a one place and then it's like, hey, I saw them again and they came up to me and they're like, hey, Enrique, and they wanted to talk to you more?
There was multiple teams that at this point I spoke with about 4 to 5 times.
So what can you say about those experiences? I understand going into the draft if you don't. Some people say the team, some don't. That's up to you. But what can you say about the multiple interactions, like what you took away from the teams that were coming up to you more than once?
Yeah, so it's actually pretty cool because so like you basically answer the same questions to like seven different people. So like you're gonna start with the area scout, and then maybe the regional scout, and then maybe the area scout, and then you can work your way up to the coach, to the assistant coach, and then you can work your way up to the position coach, like the assistant online coach, and then the position, like the online coach. And then the beginning of it is always the same questions, like how's your family life, where are you from, and then it gets a lot deeper into football. So like the beginning ones are not necessarily be football. It's be more so just to get to know your personality and like ask you like a lot of questions about you. And then every meeting just gets more and more and more football related. So where they'll ask you like a couple questions about yourself, and then it'll be like an hour of just talking ball, explaining your film, and learning their plays.
Have you gotten to do any workouts?
Yeah.
Is there anything you want to share about any teams that you feel you've had really good experiences with?
Yeah, I had a good experience with a lot of teams. So about like, I've spoken to all 32
Okay.
teams, and I've had a good experience like 10 of them. Really messed with me.
Are you confident in what's been said? You went through the recruiting process. You know some people lie, some people tell the truth. You've gone through the transfer portal. You know some people lie, some people tell the truth. So you've had experience with the business side of things before you even became a part of this business called the NFL. So do you feel from the conversations you've had that people are being real with you now that you've had the experience of real versus fake?
Yeah, I do. And also, I'll contact my agent. My agent will tell me what the real is. I have a really good agent, and he lets me know like what like the real conversation behind the scenes are. So sometimes it's a business at the end of the day, and it's also competing with like you said, hundreds of guys. So I just gotta you gotta take it for what it is, and at the end of the day, I'm one of those people where I'm a believer once I see it. So like once I see whatever team picks me, or like whatever is getting said, and it happens, then that's when I'm fully gonna like fully believe it. Because right now I don't want to get my hopes up too much.
I fully understand this, and I know some people fans will be like, why don't you ask the specific? I was like, because I'm trying to protect the fact that you're going into the draft and there's 32 teams. So I'm always looking at protecting you above giving people the information, because I want you to be able to do what you need to do, and I'm always looking out for the player side of things. This is what I will ask you, because it allows you to answer the question without answering the question. North, south, east, west, middle of the country, where do you feel there's a vibrant beacon of like, we really like Enrique? What parts of the country have you felt like, oh, okay, I could see myself there. I got some good relationships there. Without saying the place, say the place, essentially.
Okay, everywhere. Like there's been teams. There's been teams all. There's been certain teams in every part of the country and every conference that's been like that.
Have you seen something from a team or two that just really made you believe, like, have you envisioned yourself in a jersey? Like, have you seen that yet?
Yeah, I have.
So, a couple of them?
Yeah.
So, I mean, I'm excited. You can tell me off the air. But but I'm excited about this. And obviously, I mean, you know this, and I'm sure your agent would tell you this too, is, you got to keep it to your vest, because you don't want to say something that affects something getting out there, that affects, a team looking at another team going, oh, we didn't even know that you were looking at that position and we draft two ahead of you. You know what I mean? So it's like this constant movement that's going on amongst all these teams. But what have you learned in the process, I guess, going off of that? Talking to an agent, having an agent, going through all of this, having your team of people that are working you out. What have you learned about how to kind of tackle what's happening, go about conversations? Because every step you take, you're working towards something, right? And you want the dominoes to fall the right way. So what have you learned about the business side of things, having an agent, going through these meetings, talking to these teams? What have you learned from that?
Well, first I'll say I'm blessed. I had a lot of mentors who directed me in the right directions. I feel like I've had a lot of I met a lot of teammates. I've met a lot of other players who weren't as prepared as I was when I was. I got my agent as soon as I ended my season, and we kind of went forward from there, and we kind of kept on advancing little by little. I know a lot of people who kind of got their agents really late, and they're really really good players, but they missed a lot of amazing opportunities, such as All-Star games and potentially even combine invites, just because they didn't really have the right people guiding them in that way to where they can advance. Because I just learned that the business is like any other business, it's very political. It's kind of about who you know. It's about what you can do too, but it's kind of about like who you know, because it's a very political business. And I'm just glad that I was put in the right direction for that. And I've learned a lot. You just gotta really just keep your head straight and just not. You can't talk too much. You can't say too much at all sometimes, and you just gotta just go with the flow.
What have you learned about the media? You and I have talked about this before. You got to talk with them in different settings, the combine, obviously, and what. So, what have you learned about how you answer the media?
Well, I mean, I remember you taught me this a long time ago at Syracuse after I forgot what it was, but you were like, yo, they're gonna try to stump you. They're gonna try asking you questions and like try to get you to say something you don't want to say. So I mean, ever since that, I took that, and I understood what you were trying to tell me. So I take my time to answer a lot of questions to make sure that I'm not sounding wrong or like trying to fall into the trap that they want to play. And I met a lot of cool media people. I met at the combine. I didn't really have too much media, but people who were there, they're really good. I mean, I had a great time. But really, just show my personality, because I have a pretty cool, like a pretty cool personality where I can talk to people. I'm pretty goofy, but also not say too much at the same time.
No. Well, looking out is important to me, and I know how honest and open and how good of a human being you are. And so I always want to make sure that the people that are around you respect that. And if you're around people that you can't choose and they don't respect that, that you know how to respect yourself in that room. Because, I don't want anybody I call it the beehive. I don't want anybody getting stung in the beehive. So.
No, yeah, 100% sure. Not everybody is as cool as you are. Where like you said, you're not trying to stump us, but like you're still asking like good questions that aren't really like trying to get us to say something. A lot of these people, they're asking you very loaded questions, but the problem is that you have a little bit of time to actually answer the question. But what people like don't tell you is that you could take your time answering the question. You don't have to blur it out right away. You could take a couple seconds, think about what they're really trying to ask you, and then answering the question accordingly.
Yeah. Well, I'm happy for you. I'm happy how you've grown. I'm happy what you've become. I hope your ears ring, because I talk about I know you're excited for April 23rd to the 25th, but like wherever you're at, I'm like here. So, I'm outrageously excited for you, because, every good thing coming to you by the grace of God, I know you're going to take care of it. So I'm going to bring Brendan back on for the last few minutes here. We're going to play some rapid fire. We're going to do a round robin. So I'll ask Enrique. I'll ask Brendan. Brendan will ask me, and then we'll go back. So my question for you, Enrique, we've spent a lot of years talking about running on a presidential ticket together. So I figured it out that, I can run first because of my age, right? I'm a little bit older than Enrique. So I get to run, and he's my VP. We run, we win, we get a second term, that's 8 years. Now he's older, we flip it, he runs, I'm his VP, so we get 16 years in the White House. So my question to you, Enrique, is what music are people going to hear when they drive by Pennsylvania Avenue in the White House when you and I are there as president and VP? What type of music are they going to hear? And the second thing that I'll ask you is, what's the first thing that you would want to do when you and I stand at the podium?
Okay, so the music, it depends it's the time of the year. If it's in June, it's straight Puerto Rican music. It's Father's Day is like it's where all the Puerto Rican parades are and stuff like that, like in New York and Chicago. So it's over there, straight Puerto Rican music. Besides that, a little bit of everything. We can't discriminate, like all types of music. And the first thing, it's a great question. Um, I don't know. We might have to make Chicago the capital. Why have to change it up?
No more DC. We're going to Chicago. So I like it. I'm sure all the Chicago, the Chicagoans, I think is how you say it. I think everybody out in Chicago, Illinois, has got to be appreciating that right now. All right, Enrique, what's your question for Brendan?
What kind of car are you driving? Is that a pickup truck?
It is, yeah.
What
kind?
What'd you say?
I said, what kind of pickup truck?
It's a Colorado, Chevy Colorado, smaller one.
Okay. Yeah, I've been looking. I don't know. I feel like I need a pickup truck because I'm big, but like I don't know. I'm a city boy, so I'm like I don't know. If that's my vibe right now. But I kind of want a pickup truck. I don't know yet.
It would kind of depend on what city you end up in. I mean, if you end up somewhere in the Northeast like, let's just say you end up in like New England or Buffalo or Detroit, where you're going to get some snow, having a pickup truck's not a bad idea to get yourself to the stadium once you hit October.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, I think but you and I have talked about Great Lakes Honda City. My dad loves his Ridge line, so that's.
Hey, shout out Great Lakes. Also, shout out to the Wildcat. I've had some amazing food over there at the Wildcat. Shout out Syracuse Tailgate. They put me on. We always used to go to Wildcat all the time. I brought some of my online buddies there all the time. My family there. It's a great spot.
Yeah, you said shout out to the Wildcat. Danny Tome, good friend of mine, and one of my longest partnerships. We're heading into like a full 9 years. So what did you get there? Because I brought Brendan there. When Brendan comes into town, he's like, take me to your places. And I brought him to the Wildcat. Brendan says nothing but good things about it too. What was your favorite thing to get there, Enrique? It's not my question, but I'm just asking.
They call it the Wildcat wings, right?
Yeah, with the Wildcat sauce. Yeah.
Fire. I'll get that. I'll get the pizza. I remember one time I brought I brought the whole line there. And then they hooked it up. I mean, we had like 130 wings. We had like 7 pizzas. And we we feasted.
Well, I could tell you this. We have a lot of things in common, you and I, but the Wildcat wings, that's exactly when you were saying it, that's what I thought of. I was like, man, they mix all the sauces together. It's so good. I get it on the boneless, but they're amazing. I know Danny and his team are going to appreciate the fact that you showed them some love, Enrique, and that you went out there and that you brought the O-line out there too is pretty amazing. But I'm going to be there tonight. I have a live show tonight. So in honor of you and Murph, I will eat some food in your honor today.
Also, I want to say this because a lot of people in Syracuse are mad at me. Syracuse has good food. They have amazing, because I said it somewhere else that Kansas had better food. Syracuse is a place where you got to find your spots.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, you find your spots like the Wildcat. I used to go to Sassy Q's. I used to go to this gas station and get some chicken wings. That was fire too. But once you find your spots, the food is fire. Kansas just had a lot more well-known spots, so it's a little bit easier for me being there for 6 months. I was in Syracuse for four or 5 years. So it was a lot. It was easier once I got older, but when I first got there, I had no car. It was just Chipotle for a long time. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because you were close to campus, but once you get to Syracuse is one of the best places for food. And I love it. And Murph can attest to it because I bring him to spots. He likes his beers. He likes, his local stuff, what's on tap, his food, whatnot. So he can speak to that as well. But yeah, to clear the air, Enrique likes the food in Syracuse too.
Yes, you got to find your spots. One thing I didn't like is that all the food spots close at 10. So if you have no food in the house at past 10, you're not door dashing, nothing. You have to go to sleep hungry and wake up in the morning and eat. That's probably the only thing I didn't like. Other than that, once you find your spots, you find your spots.
Let me tell you something. Boricuas, they're having dinner at 3 in the morning.
I eat at all times of the day.
Listen, I was having tacos. I mean, you're having all kinds. There's tortillas. I mean, like at any given, like you're eating all day. You're eating all day long. It's dark. Like people are sleeping. You're having a party outside. That's what I liked. I was like, I'm eating taco dip I don't even know what time it is because time meant nothing. When you are with a Puerto Rican family, you are in a time warp, and there is no such thing as time. So, all right, Murph, what's your question for me?
Oh man, I've been trying to think about this, but I had to take a detour. So you guys have obviously talked about your presidential ticket.
Yeah.
Potentially two presidential tickets. So first of all, in terms of when it's going to be, obviously it's going to probably be about another 10 plus years from now. Because in order to be vice president, you got to be able to assume the presidency. So Enrique's got to be at least 35. So obviously you'll have that. You asked Enrique what the first thing you guys are going to do at the podium is. I want to know what your first thing is going to be. Your first order of business as president of the United States is what?
And my first order of business. First and foremost, I step to the podium. I thank God. Second thing I do is I thank my grandparents and my parents. Third thing I do is, so all of y'all that had a problem with me, I know where you live. So I'd be like, yeah, so first and foremost, no. But no, the first thing I would do when I I would step to the podium and I would say to everybody that loves me, thank you. To everybody that hated me, thank you. Because the love helped to get me here, but the hate did too. And I would say my first order of business, man, I got so many things that I would want to do. My first order of business, I got funny ones and I got real ones. Let me do a real one. So I would, man, I would work on gas, and I'd probably put a cap on gas. I'd probably tell every state we can't go past this certain point. And that's probably what I do. I'd probably cap gas somewhere, and then I'd start drilling where I got to drill and doing what I got to do. Listen, we've been around long enough. Yeah, there's oil in the Middle East, and there's a lot of it, but we've been around long enough that we can discover other ways to do things or tap into other places, because I don't want to rely. Listen, relying on the most unreliable part of the world is insane. So I would definitely want to change that up and say, why am I going to constantly put myself and the people in my country at the mercy of people that genuinely don't seem to care? So I would do something with gas immediately and let it be known that I don't mess around. And once again, we don't negotiate with terrorists. So that's what I would say.
Fair point.
My question back to you, Murph. If you were in my cabinet, what job would you want? If Enrique's my VP and we're all sitting in the room, what job do you want? And why?
I mean, I can't be Speaker of the House because technically that's third in line for the presidency. So I would have to be elected for that. I would say Secretary of War, because nobody's going to mess with us. I don't want anybody messing with us. And I think as Secretary of War, we can scare everybody off with that.
Yeah, I don't think I'd ever have to force Murph to push the big red button.
I don't think you would have to either.
Yeah, no. I think I believe that you have to show your strength. Kindness is not weakness. So I think I would never have to push the button, but I most certainly would let people know that I'm not afraid to. So I think that would be, I could see you as the secretary of that. I thought you would pick that. All right. What's your question for Enrique, Murph?
Ooh. Well, first of all, I mean, I probably could guess what the answer to it's a two-part question. I could probably guess the answer to the first one, but I'm going to ask it anyway, just in case the folks at home don't know. Who was your team growing up? I think I know the answer already. And if there's any player, past or present, that you would want to go up against to protect your QB, who is it? And do you think you could take them out?
Okay, so my team growing up was the Bears. Big
Naturally, I
Bears,
figured that.
big Bears guy. Not anymore though. Used to be.
Now
And
you're a fan of whoever picks you in the draft,
yep,
right?
whoever picks me is I'm a fan of.
Yeah.
And past the present I go against. Um, I really want to go against like JJ Watt. I heard he was a beast.
Ooh,
Yeah, I heard he was a monster, and of course I'm saying I could take him. It
yeah.
has confidence you got to walk into that, but nah, I've been watching a lot of him, and nah, he was a dog.
Okay.
That dude was something special.
He definitely was. Him and his brother.
Yeah, JJ and TJ. All right, Mr. VP.
How excited are you for that new basketball hire? I mean, my stepdad was ecstatic. He was ecstatic on that new hire for the head coach of the Syracuse men's basketball team. How ecstatic are you about this hire?
I am very, very excited, and I'm actually looking at this right now. Like literally while you were asking me, Syracuse just officially announced that Ryan Daly, Ben Lee, and Arinze Onawaku have joined the Syracuse staff, according to Jerry McNamara. So we know.
So it's been a full clean house.
What'd you say?
He cleaned full house.
So yeah, they cleaned house, and we want to thank Murph for being here. I know he's jumping off the call, but we want to thank Murph for being here. So
Yeah, sorry,
you.
I got to run. I got to hop onto a work call. But Enrique, it was awesome talking with you. Best of luck. Looking forward to hearing your name calling in the draft, and best of luck going forward.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Have a good day.
Thank you, Murph. Appreciate you as always. Be safe. So,
Appreciate it, bud.
Yeah, of course, man. I'll talk to you soon. So yeah, how excited am I? I'm very excited. I'm excited because I've known Jerry. I met him in 2008, and we've known each other for a really long time. So I'm really excited because personally, I like the man that he is. I like the way he's been. He's been consistent with me. I like how much he cares about his family. I like that he's not afraid to show that. And I just feel like he's the right coach. I've said repeatedly, and I put it out publicly, how I felt about all of this. And, you know, I've been saying for a long time why he was, in my opinion, if there was going to be a coaching change from Adrian Autry, that this was the only logical move. So
I mean, yeah, he proved himself. I feel like, well, first of all, he's a legend over there. Growing up, Syracuse is actually one of my favorite basketball teams because Carmelo Anthony was one of my favorite players. So I always read Cuse. But yeah, I always knew about Jerry, and I'm excited for him. And yeah, I mean, he proved himself. He definitely proved he was worthy. I mean, they almost beat Duke. I mean, with the team he had, almost beating Duke, and now he's at a bigger level where he's able to acquire more talent and stuff. Not saying the other guys weren't talented, but just acquire more talent at the P5 level. I feel like he can do a lot of good things over there.
Yeah, no. So, I mean, it's definitely huge. And the thing that's really ironic here, and it's crazy, is that Syracuse won the national championship with Jerry McNamara over Kansas, and you played for both teams in football.
It's actually ironic because when I was there, a lot of our tutors, I mean, like everyone, Kansas has a really big fan base. Like everyone who lives in Kansas, like diehard Kansas fans.
Yeah.
I usually talk my stuff though, like what happened in 03. But then they'll hit me with we beat D Rose, and D Rose is my favorite player. Someone's like, dang. So it's like, no, you can talk like, damn, what happened in 03, and then they'll hit me with that. Well, we beat D Rose, and I'll be like, oh,
yeah,
can't say no.
Hey, listen, your love for Cuse does not go underappreciated or unrepresented, especially not here on this show. Enrique Cruz Jr. So yeah, to answer your question, I'm ecstatic. I'm happy for a friend, and I'm happy overall for somebody that has earned the right to be there. And speaking of earn the right to be there, I firmly believe that you have worked your tail off. You will continue to. I know you will take no days off en route to the NFL draft. I'm going to ask you this on camera, and you can tell me no, because I always want you to be honest, and you have been the whole time we've known each other. There was an invitation for me to come out to Chicago from you. Does that invitation still stand is the question.
Oh, of course.
So I'm going to be in the house with the fam.
Well, everybody. I mean, it's going to be a lot of people over there. Come on.
I was like, wait a minute. Like, I've had honors in my life. I've had, like, a friend gets drafted. I pick up the phone. I call him. He answers. But I've never been in the room where the phone call comes in.
100%. Come on. But what you gotta do is you don't text me about it. You gotta text my mom or my stepdad. They're the ones who answer. You know me. Anybody watching this. I'm sorry. I'm a terrible texter. It's hard. I'm a terrible texter. I have like 500 unread messages right now. I'm I'm bad at it. But text my mom or my stepdad. We'll make it happen.
Yeah. Well, all I'm saying is, if and when I'm in that room and that phone call comes in, you got all these people around you that love you, me included. I am jumping in the air and supermaning so that I can be the first one to like put my arms around your neck and be like, Enrique! So, but I gotta. I know. There's all that love in that room, but I'm going to have to do something. Somebody's going to have to airlift me above all the people. I'm short. But, we'll figure it out. Enrique Cruz Jr., Kansas Jayhawks, Syracuse Orange as well. 2026 NFL draft prospect, offensive lineman who has heard from teams all around the country, scouts all around this beautiful nation, and 32 NFL franchises. I firmly believe his name will be called in just a couple weeks, and I look forward to the opportunity of sharing that with someone I have considered a little brother for a long time. Enrique, as always, thank you for everything that you do, and thank you for me being one of those text messages that you answered. I appreciate that.
Yes, sir. Thank you for having me.
Hey, man, I'll talk to you soon. God bless.
Yes, sir. Have a good one.
Echo from Enrique Cruz Jr. one more time here. NFL draft coming up April 23rd to 25th, and we're here on April 6th for those of you watching and listening live. So that means we are 17 days from the first day of the draft, which puts us in a place of less than 3 weeks until we will find out who are heading to the NFL of those 200 plus picks that happen yearly in the NFL draft. And of course, the draft is going to be in Pittsburgh. Enrique, Kiko, he's going to be home with his family in the Chicago area. And so I'm excited for everything that is to come. With that being said, from the Great Lakes Honda City Studios, we'll take a step aside for a fast break. When we spin back around, we'll wrap the show up right after this. Stay with us.
Here's a message from Renee from Bryan's Landing, located on 6523 East Seneca Turnpike in Jamesville, New York. Open Tuesdays and Wednesdays for dinner, Thursday through Saturday for lunch and dinner, and Sundays for brunch.
It's a lot like the way that my mom and dad ran their restaurant. We have put in place a lot of people that are family to us, very similar to how my dad hired people that were family to him. And then the tradition I'm carrying on is a lot of the items that are on our menu are my dad's. And he taught our chefs how to recreate his dishes. So I think that Tommy McNerney, who our executive chef is, to him it is an art. And I think that when he does create a dish, it's not just about making the food taste delicious, which is definitely our priority, but it's an art to him, and it's almost like his canvas on a plate where he just wants the colors to look great, and people love it because he takes pride in that. And Brian and I appreciate that. We want it to obviously look good and taste good. I will tell you, when we opened up, it was 6 weeks before COVID. And what was amazing was the community, our friends and family stepped up, and everybody did takeout. Everybody supported us. Our hearts were just so filled. So to Brian and I, obviously our friends come all the time, and we just have repeat customers in Jamesville, and I think people going to our previous restaurant in Green Lakes are making the trip to come to Bryan's Landing to support us. And I mean, I think we have great food and a great atmosphere. So it's very, very important to us.
Head to Bryan's Landing, located on 6523 East Seneca Turnpike in Jamesville, New York, where memories have become recipes that are now meals to share with you. Tuesdays and Wednesdays for dinner, Thursday through Saturday for lunch and dinner, and on Sundays for brunch. And be sure to come out for live music Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Life gets busy, and sometimes that means us running around. So Canine Camp Dog Daycare offers you an opportunity to give your dog a place to stay while you take care of what you need to throughout the day. Canine Camp Dog Daycare is located on 228 Old Bridge Street in East Syracuse, New York. You can see it from the highway, and it's just off of Erie Boulevard across from BJ's Wholesale Club. Call 315-437-7110. That's 315-437-7110 to schedule an appointment to bring your dog in and tour the facility. Appointments are Monday through Thursday after 6:30, where you and your dog can see everything that Canine Camp Dog Daycare has to offer, including a self-serve dog wash and a retail store filled with all of your dog's wants and needs, including food, treats, harnesses, leashes, and more, making Canine Camp Dog Daycare your one-stop shop for your furry loving friend. Right, Lily? In these unique times, there are those in our community that give us a sense of normalcy and positivity. Pizza Man on 50 Oswego Street in Baldwinsville has been here for you for over 35 years and is here now. Call 315-638-1234 or order online at pizzamanbville.com to bring those familiar tastes into your home. And remember to come see our monthly on-site broadcasts centered around the community and our Baldwinsville bees. Pizza Man in Baldwinsville. Any way you slice it, they are always here for you.
This is Jim Dispenza, owner of Game Point Sports Complex. You hear the same story across any sport that kids play and any sport that adults play. There's never enough places to play. That was definitely true with volleyball, definitely true with basketball. Could be cheerleading, it could be field hockey, which is what we're seeing now. Every sport has a lack of places to play, and I think Syracuse in particular is a place where it's really bad. Despite the fact that we've got a lot of athletic talent around here, we just seem to have not enough places for people to play, and they're going to different places. They're going to Rochester, they're going to, Buffalo. They're going all different places because we don't have a place here, and I felt like that should change. This was a long project from planning all the way through execution to opening the doors. A lot of work went into it, obviously, a lot of money, a lot of resources, and the dream always was kids being in the gym, having a good time. And I've always felt like sports is the most unfiltered joy that you can observe with people that people can experience, because it is fun, it is a sense of accomplishment, it's all of that wrapped into one thing. And so watching kids going up and down the court with big smiles on their faces has been just amazing experience. I'm looking forward to years to come of that same thing. We've taken the time to invest in multiple sports, and then what we're finding is the mere fact that we have a large, clean, well-lit space has opened a lot more doors for us beyond basketball, volleyball, pickleball. Now we're having some interest from cheerleading. We've got girls field hockey coming in, and then also there's quite a bit of room for spectators. We've got bleachers, we've got benches, we've got a concession lounge where people can get food and drinks. We're going to have multiple sports going at the same time, using every square inch of this place for what it was conceived for, which is basically people to come in, have a good time in the sport that they prefer. We manage each situation differently. Everybody has different ability to afford different things. Some are bringing 10, 15 people, some are just 2 people. I've had a lot of situations where it's a father shooting around with his son, it's a mother playing pickleball with her daughter or with her son, and then those situations come up and we work with people, and that's allowed us to have groups from 2 people up to 30 people and have some flexible pricing behind it. We're an organization that is here to work with the community any way we can, and I guess part of it is just making sure that we have the flexibility to put together a plan that makes sense regardless of the size of your group. So in order to book time, the best option is to go to our website, gamepointsports-syr.com. You can click from there and sign up for events, sign up for your own particular training, sign up for birthday parties, all of that.
And now a message from Myers Creek Brewing Company, with locations at their Cazenovia Farm Brewery, Syracuse Inner Harbor Tap Room, and soon-to-be Lake Placid Tap Room.
Well, I think first and foremost, the Feldmeyer family and our team are extremely passionate about what we do. We care very much about what we do. The Feldmar family is always investing. Our taproom management team, our brew management team, our marketing management team, and all of the team members that get after it every day, they leave it on the field. They put their heart and soul into it. I know for a fact that everyone that works at Myers Creek wants to be there, and we want them to be there. You know, we want them to feel good about their job. And again, if you've never been to a Myers Creek, especially to the brewery, I mean, I want your eyes to open really big. I want you to see how big of a brand this is. I want you to see where we're going. The sky is the limit, and I feel very proud of that, and I'm very excited about that. When you think of designing a menu for a brewery, it's kind of open to a lot of different interpretations. I mean, you can do American, you can do Asian, you can do Italian, and you just have to find, you know, how that meets that pub style dining experience, that gastropub vibe. And I think it's super fun for us because obviously we know that, you know, everyone in the world's going to sell a pizza or a burger or a french fry, but what can we do to be different? And what can we do to be true to who we are? We are a brewery, you know, a brew pub. So the flavor profiles are kind of all over the place. And I think it's super cool that we have a massive smoker at the brewery in Casanova, and we smoke a lot of our products. A delicious smoked turkey. We have barbecue ribs on Sundays. From a pulled pork sandwich to a chicken wing, you go to the Inner Harbor and you go to the Cas location, and you'll find similarities in the menu, but also things that are a little different and also kind of fit those different demographics or different communities, and also hopefully just drive you to try every tap room that we have open at some point, because you get a little something different at each one. You know, we understand how hard it is to, you know, work every day and get after it every day, and when you're done at the end of your day, you want to go out and put your feet up in a good ambiance and good environment. So we take pride in that. We make sure that everyone knows that they're very much valued to us.
Avicoli's restaurant, located on 7839 Oswego Road in Liverpool, New York, has been serving our community for decades. Your place to go for home cooking on the corner of Route 57 and Wetzel Road is just minutes from Liverpool High School. And every single month, Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora is on site, on location, with Liverpool sports, student athletes, coaches, and administration telling their stories throughout the year. We look forward to seeing you on site at Avicoli's for their casual pizza side, their fine dining, as well as their bar. And of course, you can order online at myavicolis.com. That's myavicollis.com. For takeout, delivery, and catering, call 315-622-5100. That's 315-622-5100. Come on into the neighborhood spot Avicoli's, open 7 days a week in Liverpool, New York. K9 Campground Dog Boarding is your home away from home for your furry-loving friends. Open 7 days a week with drop-off and pickup times in the morning and later on in the day and early evening. K9 Campground Dog Boarding is the spot to trust with your dog for short and long-term stays. Call 315-299-4013 for more information. That's 315-299-4013, and go to k9campground.com as well. That's K9, ground.com, where you will find all of the information on their different cabins, which include the classic cabin, executive cabin, grand cabin, and luxury cabin. K9 Campground Dog Boarding, where your dog will have indoor and outdoor areas as well as their own private cabin for any size, any breed, as well as dogs with different needs. Dog parents and dogs alike choose K9 Campground Dog Boarding. Isn't that right, Lily? Looking for your next ride? Look no further than Great Lakes Honda City, located on 7140 Henry Clay Boulevard in Liverpool, New York. Serving our community for decades, their new and pre-owned vast array of vehicles are available to you Monday through Saturday on site. To search from home, shop at GreatLakesHondaCity.com. Call 315-365-5576 to set up an appointment. That's 315-365-5576 for Great Lakes Honda City, 7140 Henry Clay Boulevard in Liverpool, New York. Great cars, great people, Great Lakes. Looking for your next ride? Look no further than Great Lakes Honda City, located on 7140 Henry Clay Boulevard in Liverpool, New York. Serving our community for decades, their new and pre-owned vast array of vehicles are available to you Monday through Saturday on site. To search from home, shop at GreatLakesHondaCity.com. Call 315-365-5576 to set up an appointment. That's 315-365-5576 for Great Lakes Honda City, 7140 Henry Clay Boulevard in Liverpool, New York. Great cars, great people, Great Lakes.
Hi, this is Amy from Mother's Cupboard, home of the whole frittata. We are open daily 6 a.m. to 1:30 p.m. For takeout orders, call 315-432-0942 and tune in to Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora for our monthly food challenge and try our Wake Up Call signature menu item available 7 days a week. Here at Mother's Cupboard, we are Central New York, and it's our honor to serve you.
Ma and Pa's Kettle Corn and Popcorn Factory remind us that every day is worth celebrating at 201 7th North Street in Liverpool, New York. Open Monday through Saturday in-store and always online at maandpaspopcorn.com. Serving our Central New York community and beyond, order anywhere, anytime at maandpaspopcorn.com. Stop in to get a tin at Ma and Pa's on 201 7th North Street in Liverpool, New York to get your half-price refills for the rest of your life. Come to Ma and Pa's for your holiday gift giving for family, friends, employees, and clients. And remember, for fundraising and events, to call 315-450-6272. That's 315-450-6272. Ma and Pa's Kettle Corn and Popcorn Factory. How corny are you?
This is Jim Sikowski, owner-operator of Chick-fil-A Cicero, 7916 Brewerton Road in Cicero, right in front of the Home Depot. I had a deep feeling that God wanted me to do something bigger with my life and to help people, help others. I kept putting Chick-fil-A in my life, and I realized as I was going through the franchise selection process that positively impacting the lives of others was really core to what we do here at Chick-fil-A. First of all, it starts with the food. The food is brought in fresh daily. We bring in local produce. We prepare to order in the kitchen. We hand bread our chicken. We hand spin our milkshakes. It's great food. It doesn't taste like fast food. I think the second thing is the way people feel when they come in a Chick-fil-A restaurant. It's different. We try to treat people with intentional kindness here, which is very different and deeper than good customer service. And so I think it feels remarkable for most people to come in a Chick-fil-A restaurant. And then lastly, the impact that we try to have in the community is very different. It's a big part of the expectation of every operator of a Chick-fil-A restaurant is that they're actively engaged in their community, they're a leader in the community, and they're making a difference. When they realize that what we're striving to do is to shine a little light in their life, that's a very, very different experience than you will have at any other quick service restaurant. And it's that remarkable experience that I think people will emotionally connect with.
A big time thanks to our newest partner, Gray's Craze, for joining the family in Clay, New York. They are the first Gray's Craze in the entire state of New York, and their charcuterie boards and boxes are waiting for you. Go and visit them at 4599 New York, Route 31, Suite 5 in Clay, New York. And of course, you can order online. If you'd like to order from Gray's Craze, you can go to wakeupcalldt.com's homepage and click on the logo, or you can go to grayscraze.com/locations/Clay-NY. And of course, you can call at 315-409-4171. That's 315-409-4171 to get in touch with the place that has the most amazing array of snacks that you're going to find in all different shapes and sizes for all different events, as Gray's Craze in Clay, New York always asks you to celebrate everything. With that being said, here on the show, I thank you for being with us inside the Great Lakes Honda City Studios, up and down the East Coast, the Midwest, the West Coast, and all around the globe on YouTube.com and Facebook.com, both /WakeUpCallDT and on WakeUpCallDT.podbean.com. Of course, you can find us on Amazon Music, Audible, iHeartRadio, iTunes, and Apple Podcasts, Player FM, Podbean, Podchaser.com, Podvine, Spotify, TuneIn, and YouTube. All you have to do is search Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, or one word, Wake Up Call DT. Big time thanks to our incredible team of partners. We ask that you support them in Central and Upstate New York at Great Lakes Honda City, the Wildcat Sports Pub, where we will be tonight, Monday, April 6th at 6 p.m., featuring West Genesee Wrestling on the main stage. We'll see you out there on 3680 Milton Avenue in Camillus tonight at the Wildcat on Easter Monday, April 6th at 6 p.m. with West Genesee Wrestling at the Wildcat Sports Pub. GG Cards Breaks, Mon Paz, the snack capital of the world, Brian's Landing, Pizza Man, Canine Camp Dog Daycare, Myers Creek, Chick-fil-A Cicero, Canine Campground Dog Boarding, Avicoli's, Chick-fil-A in DeWitt, Game Point Sports Complex, Gray's Craze at Clay, New York, Mother's Cupboard, Willow Rock Brewing Company, and the Willow Rock Pizza Pub. And, of course, we are the exclusive multimedia marketing partner of you. Binghamton University Bearcats. You will find the Bearcats with us every Tuesday during Bearcat Time, Tuesdays at 10 a.m. Eastern Time worldwide with student-athletes, coaches, administration, and alumni. You'll be right here on Wake Up Call with your Bearcats. And, of course, you can find them on youtube.com /WakeUpCallDT. Click subscribe, hit the notification bell, and find the Binghamton playlist. The Bearcats are also on WakeUpCallDT.com's homepage and underneath the exclusive partners tab. For more information, go to BinghamtonBearcats.com and go Bearcats. With that being said, here on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, best thing I could tell you, keep God first and know that you can always rely on Him. Facebook at Wake Up Call DT, X at Call DT, Instagram at Wake Up Call _DT. Happy Easter to all of you. Great Lakes Honda City Studios. God bless. No stress. Do your best. We'll talk soon.